Hello, everyone. I'm DeCaille. Last year, when most people were thinking about colleges to join, thinking about the college experience, I took a different path. I chose the military path. And how I did this, I went on the Marine Corps website. This is the website right here, and I requested information. After I requested information, I was able to meet with my recruiter, who is Staff Sergeant Warshaw, and he's the person who I did my internship with. So quick background why I joined the Marines. Most people, there's only 1% of the United States population that's in the military, and I wanted to be a part of that 1%. You know, if anything happens to the country, I definitely want to be there supporting the troops, doing what I can to help, because I honestly love the country and I think it's the greatest country. In the Marines especially, because it's a great opportunity to travel. My recruiter's been to like Hawaii, Japan, California, all around the US, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and he served the country, and I just want to have the opportunities that he had and the leadership principles that he has, and he's just a great person, kind of a role model to me. So I'm glad I did my internship with him. And once I met him, I met with him with my mom in his office in Waltham, and we kind of talked about what I really wanted out of the Marine Corps. And to do this, he has these tags that will show like travel, like fitness, a challenge, and maybe financial stability. There are some people who choose to go to the Marines because they want to pay for college and also get the opportunity to travel. So they can do that through a certain program called NROTC. And that's where you would do college and you could go to the Marines pretty much at the same time. You're getting training and doing classes of Marine Corps knowledge, but then once you graduate, you have to serve 4 years for them. So I met with him, and after I was like, okay, I want a challenge, and I want physical fitness, and I want, I want a challenge, I want physical fitness, and I want leadership skills. And he said, okay, you can get all that. So I was like, all right, I really want to join. And about a week later, he sent me down to a processing station where I got my medical records cleared, and then I ultimately took the Oath of Enlistment right here. And many people don't know this, but there are a lot of jobs in the Marine Corps. This is just a picture of the general fields of jobs. And about the opportunity side, many of these jobs have counterparts in the civilian world. So, for instance, aircraft maintenance. If you're doing aircraft maintenance in the Marine Corps, you're already going to have those skills. And so once you go into the civilian world, you can do that maybe for commercial airlines or military bases, get paid that way. So my job that I chose was intelligence. It's not shown up here, but most of the people who do intelligence, when they get out, they'll have a better chance of normal civilians getting a job with maybe the FBI or the CIA. This is a picture from the Marine Corps headquarters website. It's marinecorpshq.com if you want to check it out. This is the 2nd Battalion Intel Marines conducting live fire training. And I thought it's pretty cool because this may be something I'll be doing in the next 2-3 years. And this special battalion, they are a ground sensor. They're a ground sensor platoon. So they set up these ground sensors to see if there are any people in a certain area, maybe enemies, certain day movement or night movement. And yeah, so that's something that I just might be doing in the near future, and I just want to show that. Okay, so during my internship with my recruiter at the Waltham office, There was many times where we had to be kind of uptight, maybe when his boss was in the office too, because I know that he has someone who's higher above him, as my recruiter is higher in position above me. So there were times where we had to be uptight, and there were times we could be relaxed when we were just sitting in the office together, making phone calls or putting in recruiting packets together. So I just wanted to show you, I'm going to recite 1 through 5 of the general orders. You have to know these before boot camp, because when you're on fire watch at night, these are the rules you're supposed to follow. And yes, I'm just going to recite 1 through 5 real quick. At the position of attention, showing like the two sides of like being a Marine, like one being relaxed and one being uptight. So the first general order is to take charge of this post and all government properties within view. The second general order is to walk my post in a military manner, keeping always on the alert and observing everything that takes place within sight or hearing. The third general order is to report all violations of orders I am instructed to enforce. The fourth general order is to repeat all calls from a post more distant from the guardhouse than my own. And the fifth general order is to quit my post only when properly relieved. So that's kind of just the two sides of being relaxed, or kind of having to give an uptight view of things, more position of attention. We have to know that. And this is also a good experience for me, learning to know this, because my recruiters also put me in a leadership opportunity already, so I know the 1 through 6 right now, and every month we have training, and at the training, all my other fellow poolies or recruits, I have to say that to them, and they'll recite it after me so that I can teach them. And he already put me in that leadership position already, so I'm thankful for that. At my recruiting station in Waltham, we have this map that shows the schools around the greater Boston area, which he covers and recruits from. The green one is Newton North. It's a Priority 1 school. So he's trying to get the most kids he can as possible from that Priority 1 school. And the yellow flags, Waltham, Arlington in the top, and Belmont are Priority 2 schools. And then Watertown is a third priority school. And most kids we found would join out of the Priority 2 schools, Waltham, Belmont, and Arlington. I think we had 6 people in my 4 months with my recruiter join from those schools, but no one joined from Newton North. We had an interview with someone from Newton North, but they inevitably didn't end up joining, because he got into college in Pennsylvania, and he wanted to pursue his college career and maybe do the Marines after. It just wasn't for him at the time. He wanted to have his college experience first. At these schools, we would set up these tables, and at the table we have just the pamphlets or information, and then we'd have the keychain, the shirt, and the hat. And we actually took this to North one time, but at lunch they made us stay in the College and Career Center, and that's not a really great place to kind of set up the table, because no one's going to walk in there, especially during lunch. Everyone's eating, and they wouldn't let us set it up outside the lunchroom area, and sometimes North actually doesn't even let him go in the building at all. We're kind of limited at Newton North. I don't know why, but it is that way for some reason. At Waltham and Arlington and Brighton, we could set these up, have them in a general public area where most kids were, and then we'd have the shirt, keychain, and hats out, and we'd say, okay, well, if you want the keychain, you'd have to do 25 pull-ups. Or 25 push-ups. If you want the shirt, you got to do 75 push-ups. If you want the hat, you have to do 50 push-ups. And so that kind of attracted more people because everyone would see these kids doing push-ups, like, oh, like, what are they doing? Like, and then more kids would come over and we could like spread the information everywhere. Whereas at North, we couldn't really do that, but except for on college night. So yeah, we did that, and that was kind of a good recruiting tactic by my recruiter. That's just something that we would do maybe once a week. And then a typical day at the office would probably be, I'd get there at 12. We'd have a call list to call people and see if they would like information about the Marine Corps. It's not a call that saying like, hey, do you want to join the Marines, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, do you want information about them? So we'd have that call list, and we'd have these packets right here, just recruitment packets that you mail out to houses. Just a poster, a letter from the Commandant, and then in the top right corner is that rectangular piece of paper. It's just your name and your address and your phone number if you want to mail that back in to see if they want information. And if people did that, we'd put them at the top of the call list because they clearly wanted information, and we knew that those would be the higher priority targets to call. So after doing the recruitment packets, we'd go out to schools and talk to kids, maybe set up the table. And then also we'd run physical training sessions. There was one girl who I had to train a couple times, and it was a pretty good opportunity for me being able to train someone else because it's kind of right up my alley. I'm good at it, and she needed the help from me because her run time wasn't passing at the time, and with me, I could help my fellow recruit out so that when she gets down to boot camp, she can have a better manageable time at boot camp. So besides the recruiting packets and the call list, we'd also set up interviews. There's probably 2 notable interviews that we had. And during the interviews, it's not really my job to recruit the kids. It's my recruiter's job. I was just sitting there because I could tell them what the life of a poolee would be like, or a recruit. Meaning like every month we'd have poolee functions where everyone would get together and train before they leave for boot camp. So that's where I'd kind of stand in, and I'd tell them what it's like to go to those and travel with our fellow recruits to going to Fort Devens, and we went on the USS Arlington once. It's a naval ship. And then, so one interview we had was with a student from North, who he wanted to go to college in Pennsylvania, and we told him about the NROTC program, but he didn't end up joining. And then we had another internship with a kid from Waltham, and we did the same thing. We set out the tags and said, what do you really want from the Marine Corps? And then he chose like challenge or travel and like financial stability. He said, okay, you can have those things from the Marine Corps because the Marine Corps has multiple opportunities for you, and we're financially secure, and you can get the challenge that you want. So he joined about a couple days later. Now he's one of my good friends because the Marine Corps kind of has this aspect of brotherhood, and with other recruits, you're in the same position, you're all fighting for the same goal, you're all trying to be a Marine, you're all trying to serve the country, so you kind of have this connection that you wouldn't have with other people. And I'm glad I got to do the internship because it served as a good stepping stone to boot camp. My recruiter would tell me things that that most people wouldn't get to know before boot camp, and spending so much time with him, I already knew that I had to be, when I got to boot camp, I had to be in this kind of uptight attitude. Always listen to what people are telling you. Don't get yelled at, and say as little as possible, pretty much, so that you won't get yelled at. So it was a great internship, and due to that, I could be a recruiter once I'm in. Who knows what I'll be doing, but I've already got the experience of an internship at the recruiting station, so if I'm in there, I can be a recruiter. And I'm just happy I got the internship, and I was glad to work with my recruiter, who now we're great friends, and it's just awesome to have that experience. Thank you.